you're a partner here at Potential Church, and you're active and you're a man, or you don't have to be a partner, but if you just want to, I just want you to come up. We're going to pray for Alex. Okay, I think it's important. I wish somebody would have done this for me. So come on up, and we're just going to pray for you, brother. Come stand right here. There you go. I mean, you know, like, you can touch him, but like, just in very manly, you know, like, bro thing. You know, like, what's up? Lord, we love you, and we thank you for Alex. We thank you for his gift that he gives to you, that he uses to glorify you and to build your kingdom. God, we thank you for Ivy. We thank you for their relationship and how much love is there. And God, I pray that as a man, that Alex continues and always seeks you, that lives his life to honor you and glorify you, and he builds a family where you are the third person in the marriage. We ask that in Jesus' name. Amen. All right, thank you, buddy. Yeah, we clap for that. God, y'all, come on. We can do that, guys. Hey, just a few things that's coming up when we get started. Baptism is coming up October 29th. We have groundwork continue tonight. We're continuing to walk through the Old Testament. We had to skip last week because we had some people sick. I was one of them. And we'll be going through another core point of our doctrine tonight. Chris, you know which one it is tonight?
We're talking about Jesus.
Jesus.
Incarnation.
You know what? That is a preacher answer. If anybody asks you a question, Jesus. I love it, baby. I love it. So we're going to talk about the incarnation of Jesus. I don't know if you saw on Facebook this past week, we sponsored Pelicans at the National Night Out. It was great. People knew that we loved them. We were there. And then this Friday night, we were having a middle school event at the YMCA. It's basically, we're having a run of the place. And we've sent out the word to the middle schools and sent out invitations and that sort of thing. And it's kind of like their own little private 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. And they're going to have a glow dance party, with the, all that, the glow in the dark stuff. And they're going to have the pool and they're going to have the dunk contest. It's going to be really fun. So just a few things that's going on and everything. Next week, we're starting a new series. And it's going to be called Choose Joy. How many of you find yourself seeing life just strip the joy away from you? Be honest. God, y'all are some happy people. We doing something. Look, okay, let me ask you. How long has it been since you felt like a kid again? A long time. I don't know about y'all. I'll put it out on Facebook. What's the one thing you miss about being a kid? You know what the number one answer is? Not having responsibilities. Isn't that true, though? I mean, the more you grow up, life just throws more and more at you, and before you know it, you've lost joy, and all these emotions that come in, right? You forget how to capture the joy. Joy is something that is a free gift from God. Happiness is the byproduct of it, but joy is something that's always there. It's just a matter of, we let other things take away from it, like anxiety and worry. That's going to be one week. Okay, we're going to talk about anxiety and worry, how it can steal your joy, bitterness and anger. Those can steal your joy. All these other emotions, we're going to talk about how we battle against those so that we can concentrate and we can live a life that's capturing and choosing the joy that God's already given us. Look, if you don't think you need that, then you're delusional. I mean, I'm sorry, guys. The world hits us hard. And at times, we just get down in the valley. And especially this time of year, we're going into holidays and stuff. We're going to learn how to fight against all those emotions that rob our joy. And we're going to start choosing joy. So that starts next week. It's going to be fantastic. Make sure you're here. Make sure you bring the maddest person you know. Like, go out. If there's an angry person in your life, that's the person you need to bring to church. Okay? It could be an in-law. I don't know. Y'all, I'm serious. Weird. Y'all are so sleepy this morning. I'm going to start putting cocaine shots. No, I'm not doing that. I'm sorry. No, I didn't say that. Edit that out. Okay. No, listen. Come on, guys. Got to wake up. All right. So we're continuing this series of making change. And before we get going, y'all come in and we see graphics, we see videos, we see stuff on the screen and all that. Let me tell you something. A lot of y'all don't know how much Joel Fitzpatrick works. Joel's back there killing it every single week, doing a fantastic job. And let me tell you, yes. He's here during the week at night working so that you can simply come and relax and see what's on the screen and participate. And last night, our main computer's got everything on it, just crashed. Boom, gone. And Joel's got the level head, and I'm over going, oh, you know. Joel's got the level head, and he worked here late last night, making sure that we had another way to do this. And I just want y'all to, if you don't realize it, just show him some appreciation. Number one, we'll do this. Thanks, Joel. Number two, when you get a chance, just say thank you sometimes. It goes a long way. So, anyway, we got a ton of people in the hospital, a ton of people sick. It was crazy. We had people going to surgery last night. Guys, get on the prayer app so you can see what's going on. Pray for your people in the church. It's very important. And so it might be a way you can help outside of prayer, just maybe going by and seeing somebody or something like that. So we're going to continue this series today. This is called Making Change. The first week we talked about less is more, how we can kind of declutter our lives and get rid of some things that we really don't need so we can focus on the things that we do need. I asked y'all to get rid of 100 things, and some of y'all still ain't done it. Some of y'all, one person literally asked me, do pens count? Can I just get rid of 100 pens at my house? I said, no, you cannot. And if you do, bring them back to the church because you stole them. And, and we talked about, tranquility and having your one hand full is greater than chaos with two. See, when both hands are full with all this stuff, you can't help anybody. You can't do anything. And that's the way we live our lives so many times. The second week we talked about stress is bad and how financial bondage and debt can just weigh on you and feel so heavy in your life that it affects everything else. And your hope begins to diminish, right? And we talked about how the borrower is slave to the lender. Last week, we talked about giving is good because it is. In fact, y'all know the old saying, it's better to give than to receive. We like getting stuff, but when you're able to give, it is much more of a blessing. And we talked about, that people who give are happier people. People who live a lifestyle of thinking of, this is what I've been blessed with instead of this is what I need. Go further in life, and God is able to use them more because we know who holds the future. We know who owns everything. And guess what? It never was ours. It never will be ours. But He's given it to us to steward and to bless others and to advance His kingdom. And today we're talking about Tomorrow Matters. So we're going to go through this. We've done this every week, so it's ingrained in your mind. So here we go. Y'all ready? We're going to repeat these. You ready? Less is more. Stress is bad. Giving is good. Tomorrow matters. We will do this 14 times until I hear y'all ringing in my ears. Ready? Less is more. Stress is bad. Giving is good. Tomorrow matters. Folks, why does tomorrow matter? Why does it matter? Here's why. The problem is in our society, we have built a culture of instant gratification. So much so that we don't even think about tomorrow. Do you know that I've been in ministry for over 20 years now, and I can remember literally putting up a sign-up sheet, and people would go by and sign up. They would literally say, hey, a month from now, I'm going to commit to being in a group for 6 weeks, or I'm committed to coming to this event. Do you know now, we can put sign-ups in every single school, church, public forum, you name it, and people will sign up, and you just can't even count it. Because if something better comes up, or something more important in their mind comes up, that doesn't mean anything. See, what's happened is, we don't even plan for tomorrow. We just wait to see what happens to see if we can be available. Y'all understand that concept? Not at me. Good? Okay, like sign-ups don't work anymore. That's why we have to text everything. Right? It used to be email. Now it's text. Before long, we're just going to blink at each other with Morse code. You know what I'm saying? So, who remembers dial-up? Yes! The 80s kids. All that. And we literally would sit there for 2 minutes and watch a web page load up. If my movie that I'm watching streams and buffers more than 2 seconds, I am mad. Because I'm staring at somebody's weird face, while it's buffering. And we used to sit for 2 minutes and watch one web page load up, and it was nothing that we needed on it. We just need to go to another one.
used to be a race between the two bars.
That's right. It was a race between the two bars. Yeah, absolutely. And tell me you're not like this either. Those that have iMessage on your iPhone. You text somebody, right? And you're watching the little bubbles. Like, you're watching, okay, they're responding. And then they don't respond. Right? You know they were typing something, and then they just decided not to respond. You're like, well, I just wasted 30 seconds watching your bubbles go. Doo, 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 doo. Those bubbles don't come up unless you click in the text box. I know that. And some of you've done it. You've sat there and you say, okay, they're texting back, Oh, that's what you feel like, right? And you get frustrated. In fact, we are such an instant society that, you know what we've become? We've become a paycheck-to-paycheck society. Now we're going to talk about money. 76% of America by USA Today live paycheck to paycheck. I've been there. I get there from time to time. We all have. In fact, I would bet that 98% of Americans are 1 month away. If I took away a whole month of your income, what would happen? That's scary, right? We don't think about tomorrow. We don't plan for tomorrow. But here's the thing. I'm willing to bet. Now, I know it's hard. Single moms, it's tough. Health problems come up. I get all that part, and I'm not minimizing any of that. But here's the deal. There's a big percentage of us that don't have to live paycheck to paycheck. We don't. We plan to live paycheck to paycheck. You know, I would never plan to live paycheck to paycheck. Amen? Any of us? Any of you set out and say, I want to plan to be so dependent on my paycheck this week that I have to go to work like it's... Nobody plans that, right? But see, here's the deal. Not having a plan, a financial plan, is the same as having a plan. That is your plan. Not having a plan is your plan. And when you don't have a plan, you're planning to be in financial bondage. You're planning to be a slave to the lender or a slave to whoever's paying you. You're planning for debt. And you're planning and setting yourself up for hardship. Tomorrow matters. But it's not just in our money. It's in a lot of other areas. But today we're going to kind of focus on the money part, and then we're going to learn what God has to say about it. And we're going to talk about some other areas as well. If tomorrow matters, what would happen if we believe that? If tomorrow actually mattered, we would change how we live today. Amen? And that's what we got to talk about today. We have to start looking at tomorrow. Now, we don't have to worry and plan about it, worry and fixate on it. We just have to start thinking about it. We have to say that it does matter. And we have to change how we live today so that tomorrow we can be more free, that we can be used by the kingdom, so that we can fulfill our mission and reach our whole potential because we knew that tomorrow mattered. Here's a few verses that'll help keep us in that context for today. Proverbs is fantastic. If you've never read through Proverbs, there's 31 chapters. You can read one chapter a day in about 5 minutes. Okay? So if it's the 15th, read chapter 15. It's that easy. You don't have to read the chapter before it to understand the chapter after it. So it is great, and it's full of wisdom. It's full of wisdom from King Solomon. And so today, I want to read you a few Proverbs. Proverbs 21:20 says, the wise have wealth and luxury, but fools spend whatever they get. Let me break this down from the Greek and the Hebrew. They live paycheck to paycheck. Okay? That's really not Greek and Hebrew, but that's what it's saying. All right? It's saying the fools spend whatever they get. Now, here's the deal. I know just as well as you do, sometimes we get extra money and we got to go get, a nice hat or a new pair of shoes or go to that restaurant we want to go to. I'm not saying be stingy. I'm saying plan for tomorrow. I'm saying make tomorrow matter. In fact, my favorite verse in the Bible outside of John 3:16 and Jesus wept, because I like to say that's the shortest verse, and I know that. But my favorite verse in the Bible is Proverbs 6:6, and this is why. An ant has 6 legs, and this is a verse about an ant. Okay, or about the ant. So you always remember it. Okay, Proverbs 6:6, and an ant has 6 legs. Ready? Go to the ant, you sluggard. Consider its ways and be wise. It has no commander, no overseer or ruler, yet it stores its provisions in summer and gathers its food at harvest. Here's what we're missing in today, folks. We are missing the understanding that we have a mission and a role to play in this world. We don't live day to day. Okay? We have to think about tomorrow in positive manners. Not, oh, we're going to go to work. No. Tomorrow is I have an opportunity tomorrow to affect someone else's life, to make our life more holy and honorable for God. How can I do that? How can I do that with my life, my money, everything, right? The ant knows that winter's coming. Let me tell you, if you are wise, you will understand that there will be hard times in your life. If you haven't gone through them yet, you will. And if you know that a winter is coming, then we should prepare today for the winter. We should prepare. And the ant's not entitled. See, we have this entitlement. I put on Facebook yesterday, some of y'all saw it, or the day before, I said, I'm taking back everybody's participation trophies. Okay? Boy, you should have said, amen, amen, blah, blah, blah. And then one person goes, you know, the world's so competitive. Why can't we just love and be? No, listen, the world is cruel. The world is hard. The world is competitive. All right? You don't get participation trophies for just showing up. We are in a spiritual battle every single day. And if Satan can use your career, if he can use your money, if he can use your family, if he can use your relationship, whatever he can use to bring you down, put you in bondage, put you in slavery, he will do it. We cannot be naive enough to think that the world is unicorns and butterflies and rainbows. Okay? So we have to think and we have to prepare for tomorrow. We work harder today so we don't have to tomorrow. And Jesus even teaches this mindset in one of my favorite parables that we're going to talk about today. Now, today we're going to talk about a thing called the principle of threes. I love the principle of threes. There's a lot of threes in the Bible. You got the Trinity. You got a lot of other areas and things that if you look through the Bible, that threes and sevens and all. And I'm not saying this is a code and all that. I'm just telling you. Don't get into that crazy stuff from History Channel. All right? I'm telling you, there's a principle of three here, and I want you to listen to it, and I want you to just kind of understand where we're going. So today we're going to talk about this parable that Jesus told, a story that he told to use as a teaching moment, and it's called the parable of talents or the parable of the bags of gold. Okay? Now, a talent, or in this case, whatever book you're reading it out of, it could be a bag of gold, represented a full year's wage for people during that time. A full year. So as we're reading this, think about everything you made last year in one bag. Okay? Because that's what's happening. Okay? So we look at Matthew 25, and we're going to look at this parable today, starting with verse 14. Again, it will be like a man going on a journey who called his servants and entrusted his wealth to them. To one he gave 5 bags of gold, 5 years' wages to one person. To another, 2 bags. To another, 1 bag. Each according to his what? Ability. It's important. Then he went on his journey. The man who had received 5 bags of gold went at once and put the money to work and gained 5 more bags of gold. Good job. Also, the one who with 2 bags of gold gained 2 more. But the man who had received 1 bag went off, dug a hole in the ground, and hid his master's money. After a long time, the master of those servants returned and settled accounts with them. The man who had received 5 bags of gold brought the other 5. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 5 bags of gold. See, I've gained you 5 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. The man with 2 bags of gold also came. Master, he said, you entrusted me with 2 bags of gold. See, I've gained you 2 more. His master replied, well done, good and faithful servant. You have been faithful with a few things. I will put you in charge of many things. Come and share your master's happiness. Then the man who had received 1 bag of gold came. Master, he said, I knew you were a hard man, harvesting where you have not sown and gathering where you have not scattered seed. So I was afraid and went out and hid your gold in the ground. See, here is what belongs to you. His master replied, you wicked, lazy servant. So you knew I harvest where I have not sown and gather where I have not scattered seed. Well, then you should have put my money on deposit with the bankers so that when I return, I would receive it back with interest. So take the bag of gold from him and give it to the one that has 10 bags, for whoever has been given more Whoever has will be given more, and they will have an abundance. So here's what I want to show you with the three principles. There's three people here. There's three people that were entrusted with money. Okay? We're going to talk about some other threes in just a minute, but there's three people that's entrusted with money. And there's a few things that we need to bring out here. First of all, it is not how much you have, it is how much you plan. Notice that in this parable, he gave the money according to their ability. And who was the one that did nothing with it? The one that had the least. Jesus will give you, he will entrust with you and your life resources, whether it's your job, whether it's family, whether it's influence, whether it's friends, whether it's relationships, whatever it is, whatever your life looks like, Jesus has entrusted you with that, and he wants you to do something with it for the kingdom. Okay? It's not about how much he's giving you, it's about what you do with it. Okay? Because we see later that he rewards those that actually do something with it. Now, this man, the man that had one and buried it in the ground, he's the same as the ones of us who never plan for the future. We play it safe. We play it, almost lackadaisical, which means lazy, right? We play it, we don't really think about tomorrow. We're just going to put it all on today, and that's it, right? That's what he's at, right? And here's what drives me nuts. He even puts a blame and an excuse on the owner. He says, hey, I knew what kind of man you were. So he's already taken off. How many times in our life do we look at our financial, where we are, okay, or we look at some situation at work or something like that, and we say, well, it's not necessarily my fault, it's this person's fault, and this, 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 right? This man dug the hole. This man buried it. Whose fault was it? His. He could have easily taken it to the bank and got some interest on it. At least, at the minimum. Another parable said, at least you could have taken it to the bank. Okay? So, here we see a man that's put blame on other people and having an excuse. How many times do we find ourselves paycheck to paycheck in life? We find ourselves in horrible situations, and it's never our fault. And we always make an excuse. At some point, we got to grow up and we've got to take responsibility and say, you know what? It was my fault that I ate out 3 times this week. I could have ate fried bologna and cheese sandwich. Look, fried bologna is good. Ramen noodles are good. Okay? If you want to be in a better place tomorrow, you better plan for today. Tomorrow matters. Okay? They had 3 choices. They could do the right thing. They could be faithful, and they could not be afraid. Because that's what that third guy said. He said, I was afraid. I was afraid. How many times have we gotten down, we sat down, we did our budget, and we're afraid to give back to the kingdom? We're afraid to put money in savings because it's going to diminish our lifestyle. See, when I do my budget, tithing's at the top, then savings, and then everything else, okay? So, sometimes when you get to the bottom of the budget and you've run out of money, you go back to the top and you say, you know what? I'm a little afraid we're not going to make ends meet, so I want to take away from the things that I put at the very top of my list that were most important in my life. Anybody ever done that before? Good. Not just me. Good. Fantastic. So we're going to look at 3 principles today that will help you in looking at your money and looking toward the future. Folks, everything we do should be focused on the future. If we're going out and reaching people for Jesus, you know why? Because we want to spend eternity with them in heaven. Tomorrow matters. Tomorrow always matters. Okay? We don't have to be prideful about it. We just have to understand that it doesn't matter. What we do today affects tomorrow. So if we want tomorrow to be different, we've got to change how we look today. The first principle for investing that we learn here is don't invest in things you don't understand. Okay, I want to be honest with you. I've made some dumb mistakes in my life. Anybody ever put money somewhere they shouldn't have? I bought a web page one time. It was guaranteed to make money. And I told Allison after I did it, oh, it's just $500. And we were young, we didn't have kids yet, and it was turnkey. You know, they did everything for you. And I'm going to be honest with you, I saw it at about 3 o'clock in the morning on one of those TV shows, you know, that just tells all about this investment opportunity. Okay, if it's on at 3 o'clock, they can't afford to do it at 8 p.m. during prime time. They want your money. I learned that later. Okay, so anyway, I told her it was $500, but it really wasn't. It was $1,500. That was the second clue. That was the second clue that it probably wasn't right. And it was a great website. I had cards printed up. I mean, as you can see, the money started tallying up. Okay, now this is like, I don't know, 15 years ago, you know, when you had, you know, to actually, you know, run underneath your car like Fred Flintstone. So this was 15 years ago, and all these things cost money, and every service that they offered cost a little bit more money. And I was like, well, that's great, just do that. And it just kept adding, okay? And eventually I had this really awesome website I could send people to buy stuff, all kind of stuff. And I could pick whatever it is. And it started with a pocket knife that was about $10. And it cost about $8 to ship. And it was worth about $2. My best friend wouldn't even buy a pocket knife. And I learned real quick, everything on here is junk. They did everything they said they were going to do, but everything on here is junk. I was trying to get rich quick. Anybody been there? Me and you, it's just me and you right now. So we're going to start some pyramid thing. We're going to get rich quick, okay? Anyway, guys, we don't invest in things we don't understand. Proverbs tells us this in verse 24, verses 3. By wisdom a house is built, and through understanding it is established. Through knowledge, its rooms are filled with rare and beautiful treasures. Wisdom, understanding, knowledge. If you don't know what you're getting into, you probably shouldn't get into it. 3 principles. Wisdom, understanding, knowledge. Wisdom is having intelligence but knowing when to use it. Because I've seen a lot of smart people that are not wise at all. Right? I've seen a lot of wise people that weren't very book smart, but man, street smart. So you got to have a little bit of everything, and you got to bring people in. And understanding is knowing how to like mesh all these things together. The second investing principle we learn from this is don't put all your eggs in one basket. Did you notice that the master that was leaving left his money to 3 different people? He was smart about where he left it and by their abilities. But he didn't leave it with one person. What if he'd left everything with that last dude? He'd have just came back to some dirty money. I mean, it wouldn't even been washed. It had just been dirty in the ground in a hole. Right? But he didn't. He divided it up into 3s. And there is a principle called the 3 rivers principle. And it's after the 3 rivers that flow through the Garden of Eden. The Pishon, the Gihon River, and the Tigris River. And we equate those with wisdom, understanding, and knowledge. And a lot of ministers like to look at this principle because it says, hey, you know, I don't know if y'all know this or not, but a lot of ministers don't make a lot of money. So, you know, you should have 3 rivers of income. But it should be based out of wisdom, it should be based out of understanding, and it should be based out of knowledge. And when you do that, we do that. I've done that just recently in my life. It's to be free. It's to be in a better place. Paul was a tent maker. He also did other trades to make sure that he could preach the gospel in the way that he wanted to preach it, and he could be a planner, and he could go different places, and he was free. I believe in the same thing. And not putting your eggs in all in the same basket is a smart principle. We learned that from this man too. And today, that's what we're kind of talking about, that tomorrow matters. So when you're looking to do something with your life, you know, we need to start saving for our kids' future. We need to start saving for when the car breaks down. We need to do these kind of things. Do the Dave Ramsey where you have an emergency fund. I know it's tough. I know it's hard. Just quit eating out. You know, eat at home. Eat some peanut butter and jelly. Eat some bologna for a month. And see how much money you make. I don't know about y'all, but I spend some money on food. Amen? It is awful. Do you know, 25 years ago, the generation there would have wore our tails out? They didn't go out to eat like we do. They went out, what, once a month maybe? We spend so. Do you know that your drink at the restaurant is $2.50? You can buy 2 liters for that, 2.5 of them. Go buy a $1 2-liter and take it home. Don't pay $2.50 for a little glass of Coke. Right? Isn't that awful? We get water, we save like $100 in my family. Anyway, Ecclesiastes says this in 11:2, but divide your investments among many places, for you do not know what risks might lie ahead. That's just being smart, folks. That's just being smart. The third principle is this: don't try to get rich quick. God, where was that 20 years ago? 1 Timothy 6:9 said, oh, it was in 1 Timothy 6:9. I just didn't read it. Those who want to get rich fall into temptation and a trap and into many foolish and harmful desires that plunge people into ruin and destruction. Folks, getting rich quick destroys your character because you begin to compromise who you are to get to where you want to be. You know how to get ahead? Cut back your lifestyle. You know how to get ahead? Save. You know how to get ahead? Get another job. But not get rich quick. Because when we get rich quick, we compromise who we are. We compromise our integrity, and we compromise what we're willing to do to get rich quick. Anybody ever been in that boat? You're lying if you didn't raise your hand. Okay? Folks, Proverbs 13:11 tells us this: dishonest money dwindles away, but whoever gathers money little by little makes it grow. Folks, today we're talking about how we can look at money for tomorrow. But here's the other thing. God has entrusted you with your time, your talent, and your treasure. There's 2 other things here that He has given you outside of your treasure that is extremely important. That's your time and your talent. How are you giving of your life in all of those areas to glorify God and to see the kingdom grow? How is your time spent? I guarantee you, we spend more time watching TV, binge watching some show that has to buffer, okay? In fact, some of us may spend more time watching a show buffer than we've actually spent in prayer or reading the Bible or getting closer to Jesus. See, how we spend our time, how we spend our talents, how we spend our treasure matters, because tomorrow matters. If you love your family, if you love your friends, if you love those that do life around you, tomorrow matters. Why? We have to share the gospel with them. We have to tell them about Jesus. You may not have tomorrow. And we say, well, I'm waiting for the right time to talk to them about Jesus. I'm waiting for the right time to give my life to Jesus. You know, I just don't feel it right now. It's a big commitment. Well, you know what? Tomorrow does matter. It's either going to be here on earth or it's going to be in eternity. One of the two. So my question is, if tomorrow matters, and wherever we're here, either here on earth tomorrow or eternity tomorrow, it's going to matter. Shouldn't we change things in our life today, understanding that it's going to tomorrow? If it's spiritual, if it's a relationship with Jesus, make changes today because tomorrow matters. Give your life to Him today. You were created to be in a relationship with Him. He owns everything. He created you. That void in your life that maybe you're trying to fill with everything else, it can only be filled with Jesus. It can only be filled with the Holy Spirit. And if you want a better tomorrow, make that change today. If it's financial, you want a better tomorrow, start living the way God wants us to today. Putting Him first. Trusting Him with your first and best. And let Him take care of the rest. Right? That's what gets us ahead. With our church, our commitment is what makes the difference. Giving our first and best of our time and our talent. That is what creates a family. That's what creates a place of hope and opportunity so that people can come in here and see Jesus and understand that He has more for their life. We have wonderful people that are committed here. But we also have people on the fringe. If God's given it to you to steward, isn't it our responsibility to be a good steward of it? Because those who take care of little, God blesses with more, whether it's time, talent, or treasure. So today, we've been ending every week by a little saying the richest people are not those who have the most, it's those that need the least. And I've added something to it every week. So today, here's what we're going to add to it. The richest people are not those who have the most, it's those that need the least, and they plan for tomorrow. Whether they're here or whether they're in eternity, they're planning for tomorrow. So today, I want to ask you to bow your heads, close your eyes, and we're going to have just a moment with you and Jesus. Have you planned for tomorrow? Have you planned for, what if you're not here and you're standing in front of Jesus tomorrow? Your eternity. Have you made the commitment and you plan that one day you may be standing in front of Jesus and He says, why should you come into my kingdom? Why should I allow you into this heaven? And you can say, because I'm your child, I've given my life to you. If you've never done that, I want to give you that opportunity today. I just want you to say this prayer with me. Say, dear Lord, I know I'm far from you and I have sin in my life. Please forgive me for my sin. I believe you died on the cross for me. You rose on the third day. And I want to give you my life. All of it. And I want to follow you. And I want to become more like you every day. And I want to live with you in eternity. If you've done that for the first time today, nobody's looking around, I just want you to raise your hand and make eye contact with me. Folks, that invitation is always open. Do not let it pass. Plan for tomorrow. We are not guaranteed tomorrow, but we can plan for it. I want to give you a challenge. Personally, in your time, your treasure, start giving God your first and best and let Him worry about the rest and watch what happens. 3 months. Do it for 3 months. Give Him your first and best of your time. Give Him the first and best of your talent. Give Him the first and best of your treasure. And watch what happens in 3 months. My God delivers. My God provides. And He will blow your socks off. It will change your life. I promise. Dear Lord, thank you for this opportunity today. Thank you for having a place, God, and providing a place for us to come and hear your word, God. Let us be great stewards of what you've given us. God, let us be the catalyst. Let us be the one, God, that you can count on, that you turn to and say, I have a special mission for you because you are diligent with what I've given you. God, let us be the one that you entrust the most because of what we do with what you've given us. God, let us honor you with our life in everything we do. We ask that in Jesus' name. Amen. Let's stand and sing.
Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes and wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me. You love to go surround me. I will build my life upon your love. It is a firm foundation. I will put my trust in you alone, and I will not be shaken. Holy, there is no one like you. There is none beside you. Open up my eyes and wonder. Show me who you are and fill me with your heart and lead me.
so much for coming today. Listen, bring the meanest person you know next week. We're going to shake their hand, and we're going to love them, and they're going to think we're weird, okay? Because I expect to see mean people here next week. Because we're going to talk about choosing joy. So if you find one person without joy, that's who God wants you to bring next week. Okay? So make sure you bring them. See y'all at 10 o'clock or tonight at 6 for groundwork. All right? Thank y'all. See you.